was walking to school, lost, feeling sorry for myself. My dad was dead, my mom in rehab, my girlfriend missing. When I saw Bat Lady for the first time, I heard rumors, of course. Bat Lady supposedly lived alone in a dilapidated house on the corner of Harbert Gap and Pine Road. You know the one. I stood in front of it now. The worn yellow paint was shedding like an old dog. The once solid concrete walk was cracked into quarter-sized fragments. The uncut lawn had dandelions tall enough for the adult rides at Six Flags, and if a poor child hadn't made it from a playdate or practice at the Little League field before nightfall, if he or she missed home walking alone. The Bat Lady was said to be 100 years old and only came out at night in the dark instead of getting a ride, or maybe was crazy enough to cut through her yard. The Bat Lady got you. What she supposedly did with you was never made clear. No child had vanished from this town in years. Teenagers, like my girlfriend, Ashley. Sure, they'd be here one day holding your hand, looking deeply into your eyes, making your heart go boom, 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 and be gone the next. But little kids, nope, they were safe, even from the Bat Lady. So I was just about to cross the other side of the street. Even I, a mature teenager, entering my sophomore year at a brand new high school, wanted to avoid that spooky house. When the door creaked open, I froze. For a moment, nothing happened. The door was all the way open, but no one was there. I stopped and waited. Maybe I blinked. I can't be sure. But when I looked again, the Bat Lady was there. She could have been 100 years old, or maybe 200. I had no idea why they called her Bat Lady. She didn't look like a bat. Her hair was gray and hippie long, hanging down to her waist. It blew in the wind, obscuring her face. She wore a torn, white gown that resembled a bridal costume in an old horror movie or a heavy metal video. Her spine was bent like a question mark. Slowly, Bat Lady raised a hand so pale it was more vein blue than white, and pointed a shaky, bony finger in my direction. I said nothing. She kept pointing until she was sure I was looking. She saw that I was. Bat Lady's wrinkled face spread into a smile that sent icicles down my spine. Mickey? I had no idea how she knew my name. Your father isn't dead, Bat Lady said. Her words sent a jolt, and that knocked me back. He's very much alive. But standing there, watching her vanish back into her decrepit cave, I knew what she was telling me wasn't true, because I had seen my father die. Okay, that was weird. I stood in front of Bat Lady's house and waited for her to come back out. No go. I walked over to her door and looked for a doorbell. There was none. So I pounded on the door. It shook under the onslaught. The wood was so rough it scraped my knuckles like sandpaper. Paint chips fell off as if the door had a bad case of dandruff. But the Bat Lady did not appear. So now what? Kick down the door, and then what? Find an old lady in a weird white dress and demand she explain her wackadoodle rants. Maybe she had gone upstairs. Maybe Bat Lady was now getting ready for her loony day, changing out of her white dress, heading to the shower. Ugh. Time to go. I didn't want to miss the first bell anyways. My homeroom teacher, Mr. Hill, was a stickler for punctuality. Plus, I still hoped Ashley would show up today. She had vanished into thin air. Maybe she would just reappear the same way. I met Ashley 3 weeks ago at a high school orientation. For both new kids, Ashley and me, for example, and incoming freshmen, all of whom already knew one another because they went to middle school and elementary school together. No one ever seems to leave this town. An orientation should consist of visiting your classes, getting a tour of the facilities, and maybe meeting a few classmates. But no, that's not enough. We had to participate in these moronic dehumanizing, and totally awkward team-building exercises. The first involved the trustful Miss Owens, a PE teacher, with a smile that looked like it had been painted on by a drunk clown. Started off by trying to fire us up. "Good morning, everyone!" A few groans. Then, and I hate when adults do this, she shouted, "I know you're more excited than that, so let's try it again. Good morning, everyone!" The students yelled, "Good morning!" louder this time, not because they were excited, but because they wanted her to stop. We were broken into groups of 6. Mine featured 3 incoming freshmen and 3 upperclassmen, all of whom just moved into town. "One of you will stand on a pedestal and wear a blindfold," Miss Owens exclaimed. Everything she said ended in an exclamation mark. "You will cross your arms, and now I want you to pretend that the pedestal is on fire." "Oh no!" Miss Owens put her hands to her cheeks like the kid in Home Alone. "It is so hot you'll have to fall back." Someone raised his hand. "Why would we keep our arms crossed if the pedestal is on fire?" Murmurs of agreement. Miss Owens' painted-on smile did not change, but I thought I noticed a twitch in her right eye. "Your arms are tied." "They are." "No, they're not." "Pretend." "But if we pretend, why do we need the blindfold? Can't we just pretend not to see? Or close our eyes?" Miss Owens fought for control. "The pedestal is so hot from the fire you'll fall back off of it." "Backward. Won't we just jump, Miss Owens?" "Really? Why would we fall backward? I mean, if it's that hot." Miss Owens had enough. "Because I said so. You'll fall backward, the rest of the group will catch you, then you'll switch places until everyone has a turn falling backward." We all did this, though some of us were more hesitant. I'm 6'4" and weigh 200 pounds. The group winced when they saw me. Another girl in my group, an incoming freshman, dressed in all black, on the fat side. I know I should call her something more politically correct, but I'm not sure without sounding condescending. Large, chubby, heavy. I say those without judgment, the same way I might say small, bony, or skinny. The girl hesitated before she climbed onto the pedestal. Someone in our group laughed, then someone else. Other than to show this girl that cruelty will not stop when you enter high school, I had no idea how this exercise was supposed to help anyone. When the girl did not fall back right away, one of the freshman boys snickered. "Come on, Emma. We'll catch you." It was not in a voice that gave her confidence. She pulled down her blindfold and looked back at us. I met her eyes and nodded. Finally, she let herself fall. We caught her, some adding dramatic grunts. But Emma didn't look any more trusting. Then we played some dumb game of paintball where 2 people got hurt. And we moved into an exercise called I Wish I Were Kidding, Poisoned Peanut Butter. For this event, you had to cross over a 10-yard patch of poisoned peanut butter. But, as Miss Owens explained, only 2 of you can wear the anti-poison shoes to get across at a time. In short, you had to carry other team members on your back. The small girls laughed with a tee-hee as they were carried. A photographer with the Star-Ledger newspaper was there snapping away. The reporter asked a glowing Miss Owens questions. Her answers filled with words like bonding, welcoming, trusting. I couldn't imagine what sort of story you'd do on something like this, but maybe they were desperate for human interest material. I stood in the back of the poisoned peanut butter line with Emma. Black mascara was running down her face, with what might have been silent tears. I wondered if the photographer would get that. As it came closer to Emma's turn for teammates to carry her across poisoned peanut butter, I could actually feel her start to shake. Think about it. It's your first day at a new school, and you're a girl who weighs probably 200 pounds. And you're forced to put up put on gym shorts to complete some insane group task, your smaller classmates have to lug you like a beer keg for 10 yards, while you just want to curl up in a ball and die. Who thinks this is a good idea? Miss Owens came over to our team. Ready, Emma? Emma with a long E, or Emma. I didn't know what her name was now. Emma said nothing. You go, girl. Right across that poisoned peanut butter. You can do it. Then I said, Miss Owens. She turned her gaze on me. The smile never changed. Her eyes narrowed slightly. And you are? My name is Mickey Boylter. I am an incoming sophomore, and I'm going to sit out this exercise if that is okay. Again, the flutter in Miss Owens' right eye. Excuse me? Yeah, I don't think I'm up for being carried. The other kids looked at me as if I had a third arm growing out of my forehead. Mr. Boylter, you're new here? The exclamation point was gone from Miss Owens' voice. I would think you'd want to participate. Is it mandatory? I asked. Excuse me? Is participating in this particular exercise mandatory? Well, no, it's not mandatory. Then I'm sitting out. I looked over at Emma. Would you mind keeping me company? We walked away. Behind me, I could hear the whole world go silent. Then Miss Owens blew a whistle, stopping the whole exercise, calling for lunch. When we were a few more feet away, Emma said, Wow. What? She looked straight in the eye. You saved the fat girl. You must feel really proud of yourself. Then she shook her head and walked away. I looked behind me. Miss Owens watched us. She still had that smile, but the glare in her eyes made it clear I'd managed to make an enemy on my first day. The sun beat down upon me. I let it. I closed my eyes for a moment. I thought about my mother, who was coming home from rehab soon. I thought about my father, who was dead and buried. I felt very much alone. School cafeteria was closed. School opening was still a few weeks away, so we had to bring our own lunch. I bought a buffalo chicken sub at Wilkie's Deli and sat myself at the grassy hill overlooking the football field. I was about to take a bite when I noticed her. She wasn't my type, though I really didn't have a type. I spent my entire life traveling overseas. My parents worked for a reputable foundation in places like Laos and Peru and Syria, Leon. I didn't have any siblings. It was exciting and fun when I was a kid, but it was tiresome and difficult as I grew older. I wanted to stay in one place. I wanted to make some friends and play on one basketball team. Well, meet girls and do teenage stuff. It's hard when you're backpacking in Nepal. This girl was pretty, sure, but she was also prim and proper and preppy. Something about her looked stuck up, though I couldn't say that. Her hair was pale blonde, of a porcelain doll. And she wore an actual, skirt, not one of those short ones, and what might have been bobby socks, and looked as though she out of my grandparents' Brook Brothers catalog. I took a bite of my sandwich. Then I noticed that she didn't have lunch. Maybe she was on some kind of weird diet, but for some reason I didn't think so. I don't know why, but I decided to walk over to her. I wasn't much in the mood to talk or to meet anyone. I was still reeling from all the new people in my life, and really didn't want any more. Maybe it was because she was so pretty. Maybe it was just maybe I was just as shallow as the next guy. Or maybe it was because the lonely can sometimes sense the lonely. Maybe what drew me to her was the fact, like me, she seemed to want to keep to herself. I approached tentatively. When I got close enough, I gave a half wave and said hi. I always open with super smooth lines like this. She looked up at me in shaded eyes the green of emeralds. Hi. Yep, very pretty. I stood there, feeling awkward, my face reddened. My hands suddenly felt too big for my body. The second thing I said to her was, "My name is Mickey." Man, am I smooth or what? Every line is a killer. I'm Ashley Kent. Cool, I said.